Hi, welcome everyone. This is Girl Scouts of Silver Sage. This is our Cookie Bites episode number 12, where we are talking about one of our favorite parts of the Girl Scout Cookie program, Operation Cookie. This is where we donate cookies to veterans and active duty troops and organizations that help us distribute those cookies. Let's take a quick look at our agenda for today's recording.
Okay. So before we get to the agenda, I also wanted to add this specific donation program is really near and dear to both of our hearts. My husband is a military veteran. Kim's dad, Volunteer Bob, is a military veteran. We've had several of these in our families. We have the Mountain Home Air Force Base right in our council footprint. And so this program, donating these cookies to these veteran and military organizations, is really special to us.
It is. It's also very special to many of our volunteers who themselves are veterans, but also to plenty of girls who have veterans in their families. And of course, all of us who are thankful for the veterans and what they've done for all of us. So we're going to talk a little bit about a little bit of a deeper dive into what this program is, also who Operation Cookie helps. Then we're going to talk about what happens with donations when a customer says keep the change at a booth or door to door. Then we have some decoration ideas and ways to get the word out about the program. And then some word choices, optional word choices, but ways that you can offer the program to your customers and or upsell or cross-sell to those customers. All right, Kim, do you want to take it away?
Sure. So as we mentioned in the introduction, our Operation Cookie is the name of our cookie donation program. This is specific to our council. There are other councils who do military donations but don't call it Operation Cookie. There are also other councils that decide to, donate elsewhere. So this one is, special to us. That is what we have it called. So then every time a customer chooses to donate a package of cookies, whether that is on the girls order card, through digital cookie, or just that keep the change at a cookie booth, all of those donations go towards Operation Cookie. So who does it help? It helps our current military members and veterans. It helps boost morale and gives them a nostalgic taste of home. It makes them feel loved and cared for. We partner with several different organizations throughout our council footprint that help us distribute these donated cookies to veterans and military members all across Southern Idaho. So they are not sequestered just in the Treasure Valley area. We actually do have some of our partners that come pick up cookies in the Treasure Valley area and then bring them to all across the state. And that's, again, really, special to us because they'll bring them to wherever, we need them to go. Another group of people this helps is you, our Girl Scouts, our cookie entrepreneurs. By participating organizations doing this, they advertise on our behalf, they post on their socials, and then they send opportunities to their supporters to buy cookies. So on this slide, we do have a couple of examples of places we have donated these cookies to in the last year or so. One of my favorite ones on here is the one that is in the center on the top, which is cookies that went to one of our Girl Scout dads, was deployed right after cookie season, and this went to his unit overseas to support them, again, give them the nostalgia kind of feeling of being home without being home. And then we've got next to them, we've got our American Legion in Twin Falls came and picked up some cookies from our Twin Falls cupboard. And then the last one down at the bottom is an entire truck bed full of cookies that went over to the VA Hospital Food Bank over in Boise.
I'd like to jump in with my favorite.
Yeah.
I was able to meet the American Legion group that is in Star in Middleton, and they were delighted to have cookies donated to them. I got to bring them and be part of their meeting where they talked about Operation Cookie and talked about all their different ideas, how they want to help support the program next year. And they had cookies as treats, but also as items for folks like that were in hospice. And so certain members of their group were trained to go meet with veterans in hospice, and they would bring them and their families perhaps a box or two of cookies. And it really warmed my heart. I still see them around town sometimes, and they'll, oh, are you the cookie girl? Uh-huh. Yes, we're so glad to see you again. So they will.
I love
these
that.
folks will never ever forget your kindness when they receive these cookies. And I think we have something exciting on the next page to share.
Ooh, yes. So this one is what happens when a customer says, keep the change. Our national data from GSUSA says that customers still love that $20 bill as their primary method for paying for Girl Scout cookies. This, with our cookies being $6 per package, will result in $18 in cookies and $2 in just keep the change. But what do girls do with keep the change? They convert it into Operation Cookie packages. Because a couple of things. One, we are a 501c3 organization, and with our contracts with a lot of our booth location partners, the girls are not allowed to have anything displayed on their table that even remotely looks like a tip jar. So to do that, keep the change as a donation, they do need to keep it in a separate envelope or in a money pouch inside their cash box. But they can count that keep the change towards those Operation Cookie packages. So if you have one customer who comes, buys 3 packages of cookies for $18, gives you the $2 in change. If you have 3 customers do that, you now have enough for 1 package for Operation Cookie. And in this slide, in this transaction that's going on in this picture, I actually got to observe this, and it was absolutely fantastic. She is talking to the customer about Operation Cookie and what it does for our military and veterans when they do donate their change. And talking to mom afterwards, this little one got like $500 or $600 just in Operation Cookie donations with Keep the Change. So it is possible when you do talk about it and when you are passionate about it and you love it just as much as Kim and I do. Hey, Kim, you want to talk about decorating ideas?
Yes, because I love blinging the booth. So
I know you do.
I know, it's so much fun. So there are some ideas that we wanted to share with you for ways to get out the word without the girl having to necessarily mention it at every single transaction, because she's going to be busy counting change and doing other things at the booth, talking to customers, just approaching them in general. So it's great if you have an American flag or a camo, or dress up your booth in red, white, and blue. That is a terrific way to get attention, and it's really effective to get customers to proactively ask your girl about these programs. Signs are terrific. You see here we have one that's a contest, vote for your favorite branch. It could be that you put a little sticker next to each one as people buy it, and they say, oh, I like the Space Force. Oh, I like the Marines, or whatever. You can have them kind of do a contest out of it. Folks who are veterans are typically very loyal to their branch. So someone who's in the Air Force is gonna want to vote for Air Force, and they might buy a couple extra boxes to help Air Force win. That's a big one. Also, you can have our logo up on the signage. That's terrific, or at your booth. And also we have, if you see here, there's one receptacle for cookies. Donate cookies to our military. They use the camo, they use the words Operation Cookie, and I see some cookie graphics, but then they also put some actual boxes in the box. So this is, again, just a visual. You can use it to sort of keep track of how many people have donated, just so that you, again, have a visual and people want to get involved. And then if you have a veteran in your family, put their picture in a cheap picture frame from the Dollar Tree, put it up at your booth, and then you can talk about your dad. For example, my dad, he was drafted into the Army, and all 3 of his brothers were in the military as well. So I could have all 4 of them, picture of the 4 of them in their uniforms, and maybe even bring a pin or two and put it in a box and show people. So there's all kinds of ways that you can tell your family story, tell your neighbor's story, whatever it is. Folks really feel deeply when it's personalized, and there's nothing more personal than a picture of your favorite veteran. Bonus points if you can get your veteran to dress in their uniform and go to your booth and hang out with you. Right, Kim? Don't you think that would really help? I think that would be great.
Absolutely.
And then you also could have your adult share some of this online. So sharing it in your digital cookie, in your story, in your online pitch. You can also ask an adult to share it on social media. There are all sorts of ways in social media. There's TikTok, there's Facebook, all the places. They could also talk about Operation Cookie and ask people to donate. And then this is the part I was excited about. This is the wrong slide that I was thinking of. But did you know that you or your troop can contact customer care and ask to be involved when we go and deliver these cookies, or when veterans come and pick up these cookies, and maybe even meet some veterans? So if your troop wants to be involved, just again, shoot us a message at customer care. An individual girl can come with her parent, or if you'd like to make it a troop event and bring it to an American Legion meeting, or hand them out at a special day at the Veterans Hospital. Or we have, dozens of opportunities, and we would love for your troop to come, take some pictures, maybe order a patch. Speaking of patches, what we haven't talked about yet is that any girl who has 15 or more packages for Operation Cookie allocated to them by the end of the sale, so they have the whole entire sale to do this, it's not time dependent, but 15 packages of cookies, you get your own custom Operation Cookie patch. And this is a patch that only Silver Sage has, no other council has it, so the only way to get it is to sell 15 packages for Operation Cookie donations.
I happen to have one right
Ooh.
here.
Oh my gosh, I love that it's like an airdrop. That's really cool.
Yes.
So cool. So designs may vary because we may run out, because we're expecting a lot of people to participate. This is a really, I think it's a pretty easy lift to do 15 for veterans, especially if you get in the habit of talking about it when you go door to door, or when you're at your booth, or what have you. So anyway, you'll definitely want this patch because it is a custom Silver Sage only patch.
It's adorable. Also, we happened to be talking to the mom of the girls that had that camo cookie box that's in the photograph, and she was saying that this year, because of that box, their cookie donations doubled. And just by having something that specifically said, this is what we're doing, like it, and having like an interactive thing, doubled their donations. So that, just having a display is a super easy way to, increase those donations, just because customers will see it as they're looking through and seeing all your different cookie flavors.
Oh, I'll pop up for this one too, if that's okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that this slide is great. It gives some word choices for how to ask someone to participate. And this includes upselling, which means if you sell the cookies, you sell even more. And then cross-selling is like, it's, in this case, we're also selling cookies, but here we're selling the opportunity to donate rather than selling the cookie itself. So again, these are just options, places for you or your girl really to start the conversation, but we really encourage her to make her ask her very own, something that she feels comfortable with. So if she doesn't, like, we didn't use the word assess or include, just because those are bigger words that may not be comfortable for a girl, but however she wants to wordsmith this to make it her own, we super duper encourage that. So things that they could say include things like, would you like to donate a box or two of cookies to local veterans? The beauty of that one is that it doesn't limit them to just one box, right? A box or two, a box or more. Would you like to donate some cookies to local veterans? That gives them some options. Another thing that we're excited about, which we haven't mentioned yet, is last year we donated 810 cases of cookies to veterans. Would you help us beat that goal? That's something that, doesn't really ask for a sale per se. It asks for their help in beating that goal. You could also use a family connection or a neighbor connection. My mom's a veteran, and we're collecting cookie donations to support local veterans. Will you help? Um, it's a lot easier, again, to ask, would you help beat that goal, or will you help, versus, will you spend $6 more and buy some cookies from me? I know people really do want to help, and so I think that's an easier way to get a yes. And I would encourage your girl, maybe print out a couple of these or have her write out a couple of these. Let her do her own market research, right? Have her test one 3 times, test another one 3 times, and test a third one 3 times and see where your success lies. It may be that a different pitch works at a different booth, works in a different city. There's all kinds of ways for her to do market research, even just using how she words her ask. I think local military troops serving right now could use a treat. Would you donate a box? And here would you donate a box or 2? 1 more box will get your order up to 5, and then you'll be eligible to win 5 cases of cookies. Would you like to donate a box? Would you like to add one to your order? Something like that. You've got all sorts of options. And then one thing we would like to remind everyone, we have lots of veterans, at least I see them around town. I'm sure, Kim, you see them too. Folks wearing their, I'm a veteran, or I was on the USS, what have you. So they're mostly hats, but very often they're also wearing other kinds of gear. And so if someone is wearing that gear, please consider thanking them for their service. And that goes at a cookie booth or anywhere you are in life, in the world, and at the airport. They really appreciate being appreciated. I know for many parts of our history as a country, we have not been super demonstrative to veterans, and that they've given up part of their lives. Their families have given up part of their lives. In many cases, they've been injured, damage to their body that lasts for their whole life. And so the very least we can do, in my opinion, is to thank them for their service. Even if they are not at your cookie booth, even if they choose not to purchase any cookies, please do consider thanking veterans for their service.
Say another one that is one of the favorites for my daughter and her troop was as they're sifting through trying to get the change together to give their customer, they're going, would you like to just donate your change to Operation Cookie? So that way they have a little bit more time to try to find their change.
That works great.
And a couple of times we had somebody who bought like 1 package of cookies, gave a $20 bill. They needed, $14. And she grabs the 10 out, and as she's searching around for all of the ones, she goes, would you just like to donate it? Here, they have this part of it. So, they get creative too when it comes to, would you like to donate your change?
Absolutely. Okay, so as always, if you have any questions, thoughts, ideas, needs, you have the best chance of reaching a Kim and getting the fastest response when you reach out to customer care. So our email address and phone number are here on the screen. It's customercare@girlscouts-ssc.org. That is a funnel through which all of the questions and requests come through via email, phone, or even when you talk to one of us in person, we put it in that funnel too. And that way, if I'm on a, Kenyan safari, Kim can check from anywhere in the world and answer your question. Similarly, if there's someone else in the council who needs to get your question, it's very easy for us to toss it over to the program department or the fund development department or the registrar. So please do use customer care. Similarly, please refrain from copying other people on staff. That one place lets us do the work one time and not duplicate efforts or get confused whether something is done or not. If you want to copy other volunteers, other people on your team, that's awesome, but it's not necessary to copy other people on staff because it's still in that receptacle. Even once it's answered and finished, they can still access it and check and see that that's been done. And then we want to thank you so very, very much. We know the cookie program has a lot of moving parts. We encourage you to put together a cookie team for your troop. I hope you are working on that already. Identify some folks who enjoy spreadsheets, maybe someone who's great on the computer, maybe someone else who wants to help the girls decorate their booth and make some posters. But surround yourself with a nice, well-rounded team of volunteers that can help bring this to fruition and have your girls be the most successful they can possibly be. So we are Team Cookie, Kim and Kim, and we're here to help you. Again, please contact us through customer care. And thanks again.
Bye.
Have a great day. Thank you.